always been interested in farrier education and bringing the standard and the levels of farriery up to meet the demands of the modern racehorse and sport horse. So very, very happy.
It's been more beautiful than I ever could have imagined, and everybody's been so friendly. Been so happy to be here, and we'll definitely be back.
Oh man, it is a once in a lifetime thing that we're going to have to do again. All the people here are truly just like family. We put as much preparation into the candidates that we send off, as well as making sure that whenever we get somebody in, that they're accommodated, they're taken care of, and more than anything, they get to learn how to better a horse. That's the whole idea and the whole goal.
You don't know what you don't know. So it was a wonderful surprise. I had very little knowledge of what South Africa was going to be like besides lions and elephants and giraffes and such. You're walking down the main street. So I tried to come just with an open mind, warmly welcomed by Robbie and my hosts. And so I just got to see more and more of the beautiful scenery and got to keep going back to the braai. The braai was amazing. And I've just really enjoyed just the whole experience.
A weekend like this, where you've got the knowledge of these internationally accredited farriers with decades of knowledge, you learn things that you can't even imagine. I used to show jump, and my horse, after every competition I used to do, he used to be very footsore. And my farrier at the time, Kevin Dodd, and the vet,
the floor manager.
Yes, yeah. So he and the vet at the time, they x-rayed my horse's feet, they corrected angles, improved his sole depth, and after that he was absolutely fine after every competition we entered. And at the time I think I was maybe 16 or 17, and I realized that there's a lot more to this industry than just trimming feet, putting shoes on. Like, you can make or break a horse extremely easily.
If we don't start taking the horse's welfare into account, racing will stop. Trust me, because people are
Very strong movement against it.
Very much so. And I think if we start looking at let's start at the base level on the ground. Look at the feet first.
Let's building a house, foundation.
Let's get the foundations right first. Make people aware that there are issues, we are going to address them. But I'd love to have a whole program of no whips and no shoes, and have that as a race.
Now, I cannot understand why the racing operator would insist that you have to wear shoes if you feel that your horse is more comfortable without.
The laws at the moment, the people running the worldwide racing, obviously feel that it's detrimental, and I disagree personally. I really do.
Well, I mean, just look at this. This horse came to meet you. They just adore affection, don't they?
They're such empathetic animals.
So it transpires that you have a practice back in the States, which obviously doesn't stand still. People can't expect to not have their horses shod while they're away. So you referred to the camaraderie that we all allude to, and the people that were willing to jump in and help you, obviously for some kind of reward or some kind of reciprocity. How did that all work?
You're right. I have a full-time working business back home in Maryland, and I was able to get friends through the Maryland Farriers Association, and I had about 10 friends that are covering for all my horses, my therapeutic work, my trim work, backyard horses and everything. And it actually happened really, really smoothly because we have the camaraderie in my area. We worked really hard to have a good heart of Maryland farriers.
I have to say that this particular exercise done at Mistico kind of takes the cake in many respects. I thought it was an absolutely outstanding get-together for the guys, and the clinic topped it off at Vetscape on Sunday.
No, absolutely. It was a great event, well organised. The boys were fired up, and the standard was great. And the clinic was awesome as well on the Sunday. We had a good weekend of farriery, and it was always a pleasure to go down to Cape Town with all the good friends that I have there.
Obviously had a very strong international flavour with Nigel, and of course with our very own Derek Popard coming out from America, Robbie Miller, yourself. Very high standard of judging as well.
Yeah, no, I think so. Nigel Fennell speaks for himself. He's got a long list of qualifications, well exposed, the great farrier pedigree that he has. And the judging went well, and all worthy winners. And the standard was so high, I think there were fractions in it at the end.
Take us through the part that you played in respect of the judging of the plating classes.
Well, it's now the master class of shoeing. The plating was a speed class. This is more of an exhibition and a competition of time and skill that comes together for a good result for the horse at the end. And look, there are elements that are set out for the trim, and there's elements that are set out for the shoeing. And basically, I have a scribe that calls the element to me, and I either say yes or no. They either got the element in their work or they haven't. And end of the day, I'm just shouting yes and no. I don't know a score at the end. Gets tallied up at the end, and there was even a dead heat for seconds. So it's all very close, you know.
You had a husband and wife team competing who were also involved in exchange programs, and Sarah Snyders did particularly well in whatever she participated, which is nice to see that they came here as accomplished farriers with practices that are real and meaningful.
No, yes, I think they brought a lot of energy with them, and a high standard, and the openness to exchange knowledge. That's what the exchange is all about. The exchange goes both ways, from the exchange applicant to the host, and it's just sharing ideas, and it's really a good program. And I've hosted before with Kim Lacey. She came out, and that was the first exchange, and there's just going to be more and more follow on. And South Africa has the freedom to host, because nothing's too sacred to work on and to shoe. And obviously they have a good realize of the standard of our shoeing in this country.
People say that women generally have more attention to detail than men. It doesn't always follow, but it was definitely the case with the way in which you shod shoes and the making of those shoes. Is that always something that's been part and parcel of your life, other than just being in a farrier?
I have a very good friend that likes to pick on me, telling me stop the ticky-tacking, because I want it to just be that little bit nicer every single time. Being a farrier, I'm definitely more detail-oriented than that. You should see the state of my bedroom. But I'm very OCD when it comes to how I like my feet to look, how I want my business to run, etc. And I would rather have a well-balanced foot than just it looks pretty. Pretty is nice, that's what the clients see, but it's more about function over just having it be shined up and pretty.
The horse must be the winner.
Absolutely.
And Mistico as an event host and as a facility, and this beautiful Vetscape facility, up there with anything in the world?
Oh, it was just absolutely amazing. I've never been to that kind of facility before. It was just a real treat to be at a facility that has multiple events happening at the same time. I have no words for just how beautiful the scenery was, and just how well kept and beautiful all the surrounding bits were.
Is it really, in retrospect, would you like to have stayed longer?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It would have been fantastic, because the education that I'm getting just from the local farriers and Robbie and everyone, I've only been here now 2 weeks, and I just can't wait to see the next step in this trip, to see what I get.
Your specific segment today was basically to do with foals, and it's very, very hard to go through each and every facet of what you talked about. But if you could succinctly, for like a CNN interview, put it together in respect of what you're looking for in a foal and how you approach deviations or deformities, as you alluded to, in a way that you didn't really like the word.
Well, I suppose a deviation is probably more correct in that it's a condition that can be addressed. But what we're looking for is to help foals to grow in the right direction, get the legs in the right place, and just help them so that they can be better athletes at the end of the day. You know, when you have a team that work together in a breeding situation where everybody has the same end goal, we want to breed horses that are conformationally as close to ideal as you can get, horses that ultimately will be able to perform to their optimum, and which will, as a result, give you the results that you're looking for. I'm fortunate enough to be in a position where we have this team environment where we all get together and we brainstorm our plan forward with foals from a week old up until they go to the sales ring or further along onto the race course.
So it's almost, I would imagine, indescribable to see that horse cross the line and win the Lomorong's King's Plate or the World Sports Betting Met or any race for that matter, particularly if you've had problems with that horse. I mean, double superlatives must be a fantastic current example for you.
Oh, I mean, I can name, to work with the people that I work with and, the trainers, the phenomenal horsemen. You look at the double superlative and Rascallion. They finished first and second in the Met this year, 2 horses that shouldn't be on the race course. And that's testament to the men that train and their teams that work with these horses and train them. It gives me so much more respect and admiration for the people that I work for.
At the end of the day, the most important thing I think for all of us here is the soundness and the happiness of the horse. And I ask advice of almost everybody in this industry on a daily basis, because many minds make the work a hell of a lot easier. And at the end of the day, it's the horse that matters.